All right, Rainbow Entertainment and Promotion presents Israel HOUGHTON in Birmingham, happening live on the 3rd of June 2023. It's gonna be amazing. You gotta get your ticket right now. Gates open 5:30 and it's going to be amazing. Happening live at the Bethel Convention Centre, Kelvin Way, right on your screen. If you haven't gotten your ticket, I just want you to get your ticket right now. You may be wondering, is it really true? Alright, let's hear from the main man himself. Israel, tell us something. Is it really happening live? Tell us something.
Hey everybody, I'm Israel HOUGHTON, and I'm so excited to be bringing New Breed back with me to Birmingham. It's been a while since we've been there, but some of the greatest moments we've ever experienced in worship have been in that very venue in Birmingham. So you don't want to miss it. Come expecting. I think great things are going to happen that night. We'll see you there. All the description is down below.
You had it right from Israel HOUGHTON. It's going to be amazing. I want you to get ready. Go to Eventbrite and just get your ticket right there. Don't wait till it's too late. It is going to be mind-blowing. Israel HOUGHTON live in Birmingham. I'm going to be there and I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
There's another throne. He is seated on the heart of the redeemed, joining heaven's melody.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy Dexter coming back to you with another live broadcast. And tonight we're going to be joined by a special guest under the name of James Thompson. And we're going to be talking about a lot today. But before we get into that, I'd like to remind you guys to buy your tickets for the Israel HOUGHTON show in his presence, Saturday, June the 3rd, starting 5:30 p.m. till midnight. And if you would like more information from that, you can go to www.rainbowentertainment.co.uk, or you can call the numbers that will be scrolling down below here. And without further ado, let's get straight into this interview and invite our guest. Here we are, James Thompson. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, bro?
I'm good, thank you. How's your day going today?
Good. Good day today. Thank you.
Cool. So let's get straight into this interview. So, who is James Thompson?
That is a very broad question. Who is James Thompson? James is 27 and single. Hallelujah. Just putting the advert out there. No, I'm joking. Yes, I work in music full time as a backing vocalist. I'm a very chilled, laid back guy, contrary to some popular belief, I think. Yeah, and I am heavily involved in praise and worship in my church. And yeah, that's always an interesting question to answer. You never really know what to say. Like, what do I share? But yeah, that's me.
Nah, that's amazing. So, have you been singing all your life?
As long as I can remember, yeah, that might be a question for my parents. But as long as I can remember, I've always been singing. I don't remember a time where I wasn't singing, put it like that.
And how did you develop your talent? How did you discover your talent? Or did it just happen?
Well, I suppose nothing just happens, I guess. But I have a very musical family, so I was kind of raised in it in that sense. But I suppose I definitely, obviously growing up singing in church, singing on praise and worship, there's kind of naturally there's a honing that takes place in those spaces. Like singing on choir and, in my church and stuff like that. So yeah, those kinds of experiences kind of grow you and teach you a couple of things. But I was also heavily involved in performing arts in my secondary school as well. had a really good performing arts department, and so I did a lot of theatre, played instruments, drama, theatre tech, and so it gave me a lot of transferable things that kind of helped me in regards to music and ministry and all those good things.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So, how did you allow church to hone your skills and hone your talent as well?
Allow, that's an interesting word. Well, I'm a PK, so I'm a pastor's kid, for those that don't know. So you didn't really have much, so you was involved in one way or another, whether it was you had to read the scripture or whether you was involved in the children's department. For me, it just looked like praise and worship, but it was very much filling a gap. So the first church my dad pastored, there was a drummer there. Who kind of just sat me on the drums, and that's kind of where I started, and I would sing as well. But going to the second church my dad pastored, we got to a place where praise and worship would literally be my dad, who, on top of having to deliver the word, would play the keys with a mic over the keyboard and sing tenor. I would play drums with a mic over the drums and sing alto, and then our youth director would lead and sing soprano. And I did that for years, and so it was more out of necessity. Not that I didn't enjoy it or I didn't take privilege in serving my church, but that was very much born out of necessity. And out of that need, I learned a lot. I grew naturally because you're doing something week in, week out. But I also joined, when I was 17, a group called Seth and the New Thing. And for me, that was a real big turning point, a real big level up for me. Learning things outside of my own denomination, seeing things done differently, and having the chance to sit under a Seth and meet a lot of new people and see different ways of doing things.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, I did my research on you, James. I did my research on you.
All right.
I've seen you've gone to the X Factor, the Brit Awards. You've got your own founder of Presence, and you've also been on a show called BBC Show Altogether. Can I confirm this is all true?
Right, so that's like a strong 99% true. Just a little. So I used to work for X Factor as a backing vocalist. So I would go in. I wasn't on the show as a contestant, but I used to work as a backing vocalist on the show and record backing vocals for the contestants. And yes, BBC had a show called Altogether Now that I was on, so that was a fun time.
No, that's fantastic. That is great to hear. I think I read somewhere that you've also performed one of John Legend's songs, and it caught the attention of one of the Spice Girls who was a judge, if I'm correct.
Yes, so Jerry Halliwell, fondly known as Ginger Spice, was the kind of head judge, because she was the only celebrity judge out on the panel. It was a panel of 100 judges. And I sung. So the way the structure of the show worked is there were 5 heats, and 2 acts from each heat went through to the final. So I was the last heat. I came first place in my heat, and I sang Ordinary People. And so that tends to be if a lot of people have seen me sing on TV or online somewhere, that tends to be what they're referring to. So yeah, that was a fun time.
And when things didn't go your way within preparing for X Factor or any type of performance you've been doing, how did you respond to those type of things? Did you spend time with yourself and just allow the adversity to hit you, or did you do certain stuff to help you with that?
Well, again, X Factor was more, I was working as a backing vocalist, so I didn't necessarily have those experiences there. Altogether Now was actually a really, really, really positive experience for me. And I always, when I talk about it, I always say it was definitely a God thing, because the timing of when that show came, it was just what I needed without even knowing that I really needed it. And so I had a really positive time on the show. I can't say that I faced too much trouble or issues on that show. It was a really positive experience for me.
No, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. So, founder of Presence, to someone who doesn't know what that is, can you briefly tell us what it is?
So, Presence is a worship night slash conference that I started when I was 21 in Birmingham. Although we've had it in London before as well. And I basically said to God, I was 20 years old, it was summer. I was in my dining room having devotion and I was praying and I just said, God, what do you want to see from me in the next year? I think it's very easy sometimes to say, God, this is what I need. God, this is what I need from you. And go to God with a shopping list as opposed to going to God with a heart of serving. And I said, God, what is it that you want me to do? What can I do? What would you have me to do? And he gave me presents. And so we did it and we saw the place just fill up. We saw people renew their commitment to Christ. We saw people make decisions to get baptized, get filled. We've seen people get healed. We've seen people literally walk out of clubs, walk out of pubs, walk off the streets into service and fall on their knees and give their heart to the Lord. We've seen some amazing things. And so, yeah, every year we do this worship, and it basically looks like just worship and word, going between worship and word, hearing the word and then responding in worship, and hearing the word and responding in worship. And we have prayer mornings as well. Sometimes we'll have workshops, discussions, teaching sessions. Every year looks different because I think one thing I've learned about how God operates, and especially about the prophetic, is there's always something new. It never quite looks the same. And so presence has never, from year to year, looked the same, which is a challenge. It's a challenge to pull together, but I've always seen God come through. And so, that is what presence is.
No, that is amazing by God's grace. So you have worked with Rainbow before. So tell us, how did you find your experience, and tell us, what concert were you there at?
So I opened up for Willie McDowell on the first night of his 2 nights of worship back in February. And I and my team as well, we had an absolutely awesome time in God's presence. We were so grateful for the invitation. Well, okay, no, actually, wait, no, let me pull that up because technically I wasn't in. Seems like a little exclusive for the people watching interviews. I was actually invited. See, there's this now. This could preach. It's like you have to sometimes throw the net out in faith. So I actually approached the team and I was like, "Hey, I would love to open up for William McDowell." And I did it in faith. I see faith without works is dead. You know, it seems crazy until it happens. It seems crazy until something comes of it. You know, so yeah, maybe not invitation, but I was accepted, and so the team and I were grateful for the team accepting us. And so, yeah, we were really grateful. We had a really awesome time. And we're so excited to be back with you guys for this Israel HOUGHTON concert.
Yeah, no, we are excited to have you. Honestly, if I'm speaking from the Rainbow team, you bring a lot to the table and your performances are astonishing. There's always that sense of, you know, how could I describe it? When you watch a good movie or something happens and you feel some goosebumps because you're staring too long and you're starting to feel it. That's what people feel with your type of performance. It's always heartfelt and warming. So I felt like it was only right for James Thompson to really be featuring in Israel HOUGHTON's show because you've got talent. It's amazing.
Thank you. We thank God. We thank God.
Thank God. Yes, we do. And I do remember seeing you for the first time and seeing how you perform. Yeah, it's moving. It's moving.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, you came to my church.
Yes, I remember. So what type of words would you give to someone who's starting their musical career or they're looking to start like what you're doing, founder of your own thing? How would you advise them?
What would I say? I would say, first and foremost, and this is what I think this is a mistake that a lot of creatives make, is pray. Like, cover it in prayer, start with prayer, engineer it with prayer, feed it with prayer, power it with prayer, and it
Amen.
will go exceedingly abundantly above what you could ask or think. Because I'm not in my life, it's just not something I thought of opening up for people like William and Tyler as well. It's not something I thought of. And so that's the first thing I would say. The next thing I would say, and this is more to, I suppose, in regards to music, those that are writing, it's more of a practical thing. Is if it doesn't feel right to you, it's okay to rewrite it. It's okay to leave it and come back to it. Because I think sometimes we put, and I know I've done this before, which is why I say this, is we kind of put pressures on ourselves, but then create this narrative that the pressure is coming from other people. When actually we put pressure on ourselves. And sometimes it's from a good place. We want to be our best. We want to deliver quality. And sometimes there's been times where there's a song that I wrote, and it's probably the one I sing the most. And I'm always so blessed. I did it at the William McDowell concert. I'm always so blessed to see it get such a good, to see it received so well. I didn't spend a lot of time writing the song, to be very honest. It was maybe 2 or 3 days, and the song was done. Like finished, no amendments, the song was finished. There's a song that I'm getting ready to release next month, and I got the chorus and the pre-chorus in 2018, and I got the rest of the song last year. And so sometimes it takes however long it takes sometimes. So that's my spiritual and practical advice.
No, that is brilliant, and we appreciate that advice. And let's say for more advice for maybe, going towards what you've done. So then maybe someone wants to follow in your footsteps with the ministries, and in terms of how you approach with how you did growing up, how you were talking about your dad with the mic, how would you advise someone in the church to hop straight into doing all of that as well?
How would I advise someone that is in church to get into what I'm doing in regards to ministry?
Yeah.
Serve where you're at.
Yeah.
Serve where you are at. Do you know what? It's funny because I was thinking about this morning. My pastor, Pastor Paul Gordon, love him very dearly. I always say he's like, he's my honorary godfather. He's like my second dad. And if it had not been for me just serving faithfully and serving consistent in my local church in whatever capacity I needed, sometimes I might be on job, sometimes I might need to lead, sometimes I might need to sing tenors, I might even need to sing altar sometimes. One time I had to be an usher, another time I had to be on the sound desk. But it shows that I'm reliable. It shows that and not only that it shows that I'm reliable, but I feel like you should have a desire to serve your house. You should have a desire to serve your church. But because of that, I was faithful over the little things. And so my pastor can say to me, actually, do you know what? Because it was actually my pastor's idea. My pastor met the Rainbow Entertainment team. I said, you know, I've met these people and I want to, I've seen what you've done. I've seen what you can do. I've seen that you're humble. I've seen that you'll serve. And that you won't forget God in the process, or you won't forget yourself in the process. I want to put you forward for this. And so I say serve where you're at, because you will never, ever, 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 ever know who's gonna see what you're doing. One thing I will see is God always sees your heart, and God always sees the intention.
Amen.
So your intention has to be pure. Let me add that. Your intention must be pure, but serve where you're at. You know, short anecdote. One thing you learn about me is if I have anything, I have a story. Singing in Seth and A New Thing, we were on tour 2015, and we went to sing in this very small church in Wolverhampton. And there weren't a lot of people there. But one thing that Seth had always said to us, and we used to say it every time we'd pray, Seth would always say it either the beginning or the end, but that was audience of one, and that's God. And so it was this small church in Wolverhampton, not a lot of people there. I've seen more people in a classroom. I've seen more people, like the smallest of places. But we went up and we sang and we played and we worshipped like it was Wembley Stadium. And we saw a couple that was there that have said, you know what, we've never experienced the power of God the way we have done tonight. And they blessed the ministry. I don't even remember what the amount was, but it was some crazy amount. And who would have thought that in that small place that it was easy to think that nobody can see, or so we could have just dismissed it. That out of that came something that really helped to champion the work that Seth was doing at the time.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, serve where you are at.
Yeah,
and let God be the one that exalts you.
Yeah, I hear that one. If there's a saying that my dad likes to say, it's always where there is 2 or 3 people are gathered, so the Lord is always at. That's what my dad likes to say. So, absolutely, it's always the little things with God and the big grand things. So, 100% I hear that. I like that. Serve where you're at. I like that.
Serve where you're at.
Well, James, it's been a pleasure interviewing you tonight. And
thank you.
We are excited to see you on Saturday, June 3rd.
I'm excited. It's come around quick.
Yes, it's coming quick. Less than 6 days left. And it's time. It's time. But, James, I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No worries.
Thank you for coming, and we appreciate you.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me.
It's all good. Well, guys, you have heard from James Thompson, one of the supporting acts for the Israel Houghton and New Breed concert. If you would like to get your tickets, you can go to www.rainbowentertainment.co.uk, or you can dial the numbers that are ringing, or it will all be in the comments section. You guys all know where to find it. If there's anything else you guys need, you can contact us, and you can always maintain support and always come to our shows. We always show love to everyone, and we are excited to see everyone there. Thank you for having me. I've been your host, Dexter, and I'll be your MC for the night. Thank you. Goodbye.
All right, Rainbow Entertainment and Promotion presents Israel Houghton in Birmingham, happening live on the 3rd of June 2023. It's gonna be amazing. You gotta get your ticket right now. Gates open 5:30, and it's gonna be amazing. Happening live at the Bethel Convention Centre, Kelvin Way, right on your screen. If you haven't gotten your ticket, I just want you to get your ticket right now. You may be wondering, is it really true? All right, let's hear from the main man himself. Israel, tell us something. Is it really happening live? Tell us something.
Hey everybody, I'm Israel Houghton, and I'm so excited to be bringing New Breed back with me to Birmingham. It's been a while since we've been there, but some of the greatest moments we've ever experienced in worship have been in that very venue in Birmingham. So you don't want to miss it. Come expecting. I think great things are going to happen that night. We'll see you there. All the description is down below.
You had it right from Israel Houghton. It's going to be amazing. I want you to get ready. Go to Eventbrite and just get your ticket right there. Don't wait till it's too late. It is going to be mind-blowing. Israel Houghton live in Birmingham. I'm going to be there, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there.